In this video, we're gonna explain the concept of undefined functions. So in math, we have two problems that we want to avoid: having a negative inside the root and having a zero denominator, because if you have anything divided by zero, this gives you a math error, right? So for the case of undefined function, it has all to do with having a zero denominator. So when is the function undefined? It's the value of x that will make the denominator zero. If you have a function like that does not have a denominator, let's say x squared plus 1, if the function does not have a denominator, then this function can never be undefined. But if a function has a denominator like that, 1 over x, remember that the denominator is the number at the bottom of the fraction. So if the function has a denominator like that, then the function is going to be undefined when the denominator is 0. So you look for the value of x that would make the denominator 0, in this case when x is just equal to 0. So the way you solve this problem is that you take the denominator, regardless what it is, and you equate it to 0. Okay? So if you have f of x is equal to 1 over x minus 3, and the question is stating for what value of x will this function be undefined. So if you want this function to be undefined, so you take the denominator and you equate it to 0. So you do x minus 3 is equal to 0, and then you solve for x. So what value of x will make this equal to 0 when x is equal to 3? Okay. If we take a slightly more complicated question, let's say you have 1 over x squared minus 4. And again, he's saying for what value of x will the function be undefined? So again, all we do is we take the denominator and we equate it to 0. And we just solve for x. That will make this denominator equal to 0. So in this case, this is x squared equal 4. So x is going to be positive or negative 2. If you have an example that looks a little bit more complicated, if you have something like this, then again, if you want this function to be undefined, so you're going to take the denominator and you're going to equate it to 0. So you're going to get something like this: x squared minus x minus 6 equal to 0. And then you can go ahead and factorize. So this is going to be x and x. We said that we look at this sign. If this is negative, then 1 negative, 1 positive. And the multiplication is going to be 3 and 2. So you're going to get that either x is equal to 3 or that x is equal to negative 2. So these are the two values of x that if you put them in the function, it will give you an undefined function as it makes the denominator 0.